I wouldn't say I'm an alcoholic, but it's kind of like a person needs another drink, I think, when they're an alcoholic. I just need one more race to make my year. Well, I can tell you the fondest memories I have is from the early days of the Mint 400. I got some great memories from the race itself and from KJ Howe and the Mint Hotel. You know, that's the first time I think Rod Hall was recognized as somebody. And you know, the first time, it's just like the first time you get a hug. You remember it very well. The first Mint 400 started out at the gun club north of town up on 95. There was probably 300 cars or something on that 100-mile loop. And we would start 5 at a time. I was sitting there at the starting line talking to this little blonde. 5 at a time we were leaving the line. And Fricker says, "Rod, are you waiting for the next wave or what?" And I was just trying to get her phone number. That's all I was trying to do. But hell, it didn't take long. And the Unser boys pulled out to pass me. And I mean, I'm going pretty good clip myself, I thought, but they flew up and they passed me on the right, and then they kind of crossed over in front of me. But the problem was they ran out of road as soon as they landed, and they just went off this down into this big gully. Never saw them again. And then another fond memory I have of the Mint 400, I drove 2 laps with no lights. But it's amazing how fast you can go with no lights, as long as you follow the tail lights in front of you. I was following this Baja bug, and he just stops. And of course, he had lights, so he could see why he stopped. I couldn't see. But off to the distance, maybe just say a couple hundred yards off to the distance, here come Bill Rush and Walker Evans by in a Bronco. And I just pulled out and went around that guy that was parked, but I know why he stopped now, because Fricker and I went off a cliff. I don't know what it was, 100 feet or 20 feet. But at the finish line, it was all lit up. So I just passed him on the outside on the first left turn, got the checker flag, stopped, and they must have hit me at 20 miles an hour, because probably upset them a little bit, I don't know. But that was Walker and Bill Rush. Bill Rush was driving, Walker was riding. And so there's great experiences like that many, many times at the Mint 400. It is special because maybe of the name, maybe of the image, but I think the people that have heritage in racing really enjoy this image that it has. I think Las Vegas does, Fremont Street does, the hotels, and it's just the organization that takes to make this thing happen. And it's almost like the Indy. You used to say it's the greatest spectacle in racing. I think the Mint 400 has that same image for us, and I believe it is. You stand out there and you watch all these vehicles come by, all kinds of different vehicles, and I just think and you see people that are just in awe of people doing this kind of sport. The Mint 400 was able to pull desert racing out of just a bunch of guys out in the desert, raising hell, so to speak. I think there was like 525 cars started this race one time with no motorcycles. And that's still, I think, the largest number of entries that we've ever had, I think. Well, I wouldn't say I'm an alcoholic, but it's kind of like a person needs another drink, I think, when they're an alcoholic. I just need one more race to make my year. That's why I keep racing, I guess. Well, I've been married 57 years to the same little gal. The secret is opposites attract. And my wife's an intellect, so you know where I'm at. But the moral of this story is this, that intellects, they don't kid much, but they say things just the way they are. And my wife says about me is If you didn't have talent to drive a truck, you wouldn't have any talent at all. And so I just was lucky I found it the one thing I could do, I guess. You know, I just love the feeling of being out by myself, making the vehicle do what I wanted to, enjoying the outdoors. It just grows on you, and the freedom that you have out there, because you don't have people telling you what to do or things like that. I like that. Leading that parade was one of the best experiences I've had in a long time, especially right down Las Vegas Boulevard. To see the skyline of Las Vegas right down Las Vegas Boulevard, see all them great buildings and the fountains, and it was just beautiful. And so that was one of my highlights of this race, because I've never been the Grand Marshal of anything, as far as I know. It's awesome. Yes, it is.